What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Crypto today down, pulling back right now. We have Bitcoin down almost 0.5%, Ethereum pulling back from yesterday's surge, down over 1%, total 3, down almost 3%. Are we still going to be seeing a breakout in crypto? Is altcoin season still coming soon? We're going to be diving into the charts right now to see what the next likely moves are for crypto. And later in this video, I'm going to be doing some altcoin setups, including Pi Network, Zebec Network, and Cheelee, which is CHEEL USDT. See what's going on in these markets. If you guys are new to this channel, make sure you guys are subscribed and liking this video, because you guys should know that I dive deep into the charts every day to find the moves before they actually happen. Because let's face it, that's a lot lower risk than chasing a pump on the day of. If you guys been there, let me know in the comment section below how that has worked out. Now we are also going to be taking a look into the stock market, because that is a very highly correlated market with Bitcoin, which is the driver of the crypto markets. If Bitcoin pumps, chances are your altcoins are going to be pumping, and if Bitcoin dumps, very similar things could be happening in altcoins. So still very important to be paying attention to Bitcoin first before looking at any altcoin setups. Now let's go ahead and dive into Bitcoin here. Bitcoin hourly chart. Talked about this falling wedge pattern yesterday. Price target for this breakout is still going to be just right underneath 111K here, which is very close to that all-time high that we're still trying to break. In my opinion, I don't think alt season is going to start until we get a clear breakout of this 110K resistance here. Now, last week we did have a kind of a fake out, right? Above that 110K for just a little bit. Very slow breakout here that we're seeing right now, at least comparing to the past few, right? Especially the 2020 breakout. If you guys have been in here long enough, you guys let me know how that breakout was. It hasn't been anything like that just yet, but we're still waiting on it. In my opinion, I think the chances of a breakout coming is very likely. But that is just my opinion. None of what I'm saying here is financial advice, of course. But let's take a look into this hourly time frame. We did have a fake out, back at this wave right here, just earlier today or last night, and now it's trying to break out again, and it's still valid because it is still on top of that upper trend line, getting very close to seeing what this does, right? Could it invalidate this falling wedge pattern by breaking back into it? Now, what I'm focusing on is also the 2 hour as well, because when I am looking at a pattern and its breakouts, I look at the highest time frame where that pattern is still validated, right? In my opinion, the 2 hour time frame is the highest time frame that this pattern is still valid, right? And according to this breakout right here, I think this breakout is still valid. We had some fake outs there, but those were not solid candle closes in and out of the pattern. And we're still above this upper trend line here. Very important to be paying attention to this right now in the short term. Now, in the longer term here, daily time frame, very important to be paying attention to this as well, because we have the daily 21 SMA coming up. I've been talking about this. This support has not been hit for a little while, so I expect it to be pretty strong support. Okay, let's see what it does. Price action got very close to this blue line here, which is the daily 21 SMA, currently at about 106K here. Okay, I think that's going to be a very likely good bounce, because if you guys actually take a look into past moving averages, even the 12-hour, it has actually gave Bitcoin a very good bounce. So I think chances are the daily time frame is going to give a very good bounce as well, right? We're still very well above the daily 200 SMA for all types of significance. Now, I don't really talk about the monthly time frame as much, right? But it's something that we should be paying attention to as well, because this monthly candle closes in about 2 days, and I mean, if you don't get a very strong move here for the next 2 days, chances are you're gonna get bearish divergence, which is usually a sell signal. Okay, but there has been, so sell signals usually indicate a pullback on the monthly time frame. Okay, which is huge. But there has been breakouts where the bulls actually invalidate this bearish divergence. Namely, back in December 2020, it just kept going for a couple of months. That could happen, but the odds actually favor a pullback. So, I mean, it's very important to be paying attention to this monthly time frame as well. We already have bearish divergence on the weekly time frame for quite some time, but hasn't really pulled back yet. Could this be the first weekly candle where we do? Okay. Now, very quick, bearish divergence is basically where you get a higher high on the price action chart, but a lower high on the RSI, indicating weakness. Now let's go ahead and go to the Ethereum charts. Ethereum on this shorter time frame, at least for this cup and handle pattern, is still valid in my opinion. That was not a solid candle close above 2750. Just, it was a fake out, right? But still valid. In the shorter term, Ethereum is running ahead of total 3. Now, price target for this cup and handle still just shy of 3200. Okay, paying attention to this. Total 3. Okay, lagging behind Ethereum, right? Right now, still at the bottom, towards the bottom, or not, at least not near the top of the cup and handle pattern here, right? Resistance for total 3, talked about this, about 940 billion. Price targets, if it breaks out, it's going to be about about just right above $1 trillion market cap here. Okay, so that could still do some pretty significant moves for some of these smaller altcoins. Of course, always gotta consider the downside if it doesn't break out, because these patterns, they'll tell me what the odds are in favor of, but there's always going to be a chance it comes the other way. Now let's go ahead and go to stock markets. Had an early surge this morning. Now it's, that surge is kind of dying when it hit about 6,000. Here, this is the S&P 500 futures. Symbol is ES1 exclamation mark. Usually a front-running signal for Bitcoin. Okay, so let's come over here to a shorter time frame for ES1. Let's see what it could be doing. Right now, it is at a support level. The hourly 200 SMA, pretty important moving average for shorter term traders. Now, let's go ahead and take a look into top 200, some top 200 crypto first. We're going to take a look into Pi Network, see what has gone on in this market. All right, we're going to take a look into the weekly time frame. Excuse me, the daily time frame, because that is the time frame where we can actually see some valid patterns. Okay, I talked about this pattern here, maybe even the shorter time frame. Yep, a shorter time frame here. It's going to be the 12-hour. Talked about this pattern here. Price target out of this falling wedge pattern, which is going to be a very common pattern you guys will see and should train your eyes to see, because it does most likely breaks to the upside. It usually breaks to the upside. Excuse me. And price target still valid. It's going to be about $1.50. Pi Network price target. Price targets are estimates only. It could be more, it could be less. Okay, just gotta be doing the ABCs, which is always be charting, and to see if we can get any clues on where the price action could be going, even after a breakout. Just because if it breaks out and you got a price target, doesn't mean it's going to be smooth sailing to that price target. Like, I think this would be a very good example here. Broke out. Not too much happening still. I think the altcoins are still waiting on Bitcoin, okay? And broke out, formed a smaller falling wedge, and this time would be a price target of about just right above 85 cents if it breaks out by this point. So still some pretty good movement here for Pi Network. It's a bigger altcoin, okay? It's not going to be as crazy as some of these smaller ones. All right, Cheelee, CHEEL USD. Let's see what's going on in this market here. All right, weekly time frame, very oversold, okay? With just very oversold, okay? Do we have bullish divergence on here? No, we don't, but just very oversold, okay? Falling wedge, again, price action, price target, it's going to be about $10.70 price target if it breaks up at this point. If it doesn't, and this pattern's still intact, move this measurement, either up the trend line or just down the trend line, right? So weekly time frame. Let's take a look into a shorter time frame here. No particular pattern yet, right? Maybe possible double bottom if it actually breaks, comes back to about $5 here with a now with the daily candle close. No, scratch that. Okay, possible. I mean, you already do have a double bottom here, right? On the 4-hour time frame. Double bottoms are usually bullish, right? Double bottom right here, very small, but it is valid with bullish divergence, okay? Price target out of this very small double bottom on the 4-hour is going to give you measure the top to the bottom of the pattern for double bottoms, and you put the measurement on top right above the pattern. That will give you just right above $5.25 price target for Pi Network. For CHEEL USD. All right. Did I mention the price target for the bigger pattern here? I already did. Let's go over here to Zebec network, see what has gone on in this market for the past couple of days. I know it's had some movements, right? So let's take a look, okay? Zebec network has been running. It has been surging like crazy. One of the few altcoins that I have seen done some pretty amazing movement in the past 2 weeks, okay? The rest are still chilling, right? The Zebec network it's in oversold territory on the weekly time frame. About 84. Some type of a pullback here is not going to be surprising, okay? I talked about this cup and handle pattern, right? If you guys been here for the past a video or two, you guys know that I've talked about this. In this case, the price target of this cup and handle breakout was about 0.39 cents. In this case, price action went way above that. So let's take a look into what could be happening on a smaller time frame, 4-hour time frame. No particular pattern yet, but this could be some type of a rising wedge forming, okay? Now, why am I saying that it is still forming? Because we don't have that second swing to that bottom trend line here, but you do have a validated trend line, the top trend line with 3 candle touches, waiting for that possible third touch. Well, I mean, that second swing on the bottom trend line. We do have 3 touches already, but we do need that second swing to validate this possible rising wedge pattern. If that does form, that is usually a bearish pattern. So something to be just keeping in mind of, especially with that kind of that over spot weekly RSI. Okay, so that is what I'm seeing for Zebec network. Just long story short, I'm trying to keep it short here. Now, and that basically wraps it up for this video. If you guys have any technical analysis requests, chart requests for any altcoins in the market or any coin in the market, just drop a like, comment, and subscribe. I will pick one request to do for you guys every day. And I will see you guys next time. Have a great day.